My name is Keri. I'm the clinical exercise physiologist at the Virginia G. Piper Cancer Center in exercise rehab. This video includes advanced strength training exercises, and I recommend that you have the ability to get on and off the floor and move about your home in some free space. I also recommend a few pieces of equipment such as a yoga mat or a mat on the floor, a couple of sets of resistance, whether it's water bottles or things you have around your house. Today I have a set of dumbbells, a medicine ball, and some water bottles for my resistance. We'll be combining the moves. Because this is an advanced strength training video, we'll combine several of the moves. We'll move through 6 exercises, and we'll be able to strength train all the muscle groups in the body. Within this video, you might find that your heart rate and your breathing rate come up, and because they're advanced moves, that's the intention. But if you need to, slow it down and take your time through these moves. We'll move through 2 sets today. I recommend that you do 3 or 4 sets, so I recommend that you repeat the video if you're looking for additional sets. Strength training happens 2 to 3 days per week, preferably every other day, particularly with these advanced moves. Because we're working all the muscle groups in the body, it's nice to have a day of rest or 2 in between. Today's video will include 10 to 12 repetitions per side if we divide the exercises, or 10 to 12 repetitions per exercise. The first one we'll do is on the floor, so I'll give you a moment to get yourself set up with your yoga mat, and we'll be on our back. We'll work the chest and shoulders as well as your posterior chain, the glutes and hamstrings with a bridge. This is a chest fly with a bridge. I'm choosing a moderate dumbbell. Again, you choose a weight that's appropriate for you. So we'll be on our back. We'll put our feet on the mat, and our starting position will be such that we'll press our arms up above, keeping it above your chest, not over your head or over your belly, but over your chest. And as we open up, I want a nice slight bend in that elbow there, just as if you're gonna hug a tree. And we're gonna open up those dumbbells and press our hips up toward the ceiling. So we're combining a chest fly with a bridge. So here we go. So we'll open up, press, and then close and put ourselves back down. Press up. You'll feel that tightness in your glutes and in your hamstrings. You'll feel that chest open up. Try not to hit those dumbbells on the floor. So easy in both directions, both up and down. Using a lot of muscle groups here. So again, you might feel your heart rate come up. It's important you stay slow and controlled. Breathing through the exercises. Let's go for 2 more. Press up, back down, and last one, open, and back down. And you can set those weights down to help yourself get up. If you need to roll to the side to get up, that's fine too. We have a microphone in the way. Press ourselves to a standing position. We'll come back down to the floor later on in the video. This next exercise, I'm going to choose a lighter weight as we'll combine, again, both a leg exercise and an upper body exercise. I'm going to choose my water bottles this time. Just lighten my weight ever so slightly. This is called a curtsy squat with a lateral raise. With a curtsy squat, that typically involves your hips and your knees. You're going to push your weight back, but we're going to move one of our legs behind us as if you're going to curtsy. So you'll see this. I'll demonstrate before we begin counting. So we'll step behind us and just ever so slightly bring ourselves down. It's not a deep hip bend. We don't need to get down to the floor. That tends to twist the knees up too much. We'll stick to one side at a time, and at the same time we'll raise those arms for a lateral raise, which looks like this. So palms face down, raise to about shoulder height, and then gently back to your side. We'll combine both of those moves. So as we step behind us, raise those arms up and come up. So for the purpose of this exercise, because we're moving so much, take your time here. Feel that breathing rate come up. Good. Slow and controlled. No need to rush through. Adjust your position as your body sees fit, but we need to sit back into that squat. Raising up. Ideally, if those arms come up to shoulder height, but if they can't, that's okay too. Do the best you can. Slight bend in those elbows. They're not straight out behind you. Slight bend, palms facing down. One more here on the side. So let's switch sides. Again, that might be a lot of work for those shoulders. So if you need to take a break as we do this side on those shoulders, that's okay. So off we go. Step behind us. A little bit of a squat. Come back. So we're relying on balance. One-legged squat here, if you will, and pushing off with that toe over there as I come back to center. Get myself centered for a slight second, and then back into that curtsy squat. Like I said, if those shoulders get tired, that's why I lightened up my weight. You can certainly leave them at your side. Still getting great benefit even though you're not using or pulling those shoulders out to the side there. I'll bring those back in for our last couple sets, repetitions. And last one right here. Good job. Nice. Okay. So we'll let those legs rest a little bit. We just did a lot of work with those legs. We'll get ourselves in position for a bent over fly. Again, we'll use our upper body, mostly our back muscles and our shoulders, but we'll also activate our posterior chain, so our glutes and our hamstrings. I'm going to turn off to the side as well so you can see this exercise. I think I'll stick with some light weight today, but again, go where you're successful, being able to complete 10 or 12 repetitions. I'm going to widen my stance so it's about hip width apart. And I'm going to bring, bending at the hip, I'm going to bring my body, my upper body at maybe a 45-degree angle. So we've activated that posterior chain, that's our lower back, all the way through our hams and glutes. Keeping that here, so I'm tight through the belly. I don't want to round through those shoulders here. I'm going to keep a nice flat back. So we're engaged there. We're still working those muscle groups. This time I'm going to take those water bottles right in front of me here, and I'm going to pull them off to the side. So again, a slight bend in that elbow, not super straight, slight bend, and return them back. So pulling with those shoulder blades, squeezing back there. Try not to let that body droop. Pull, I'm going to turn to the side again so you can see that. I have a really good range here. If you feel like you can't get quite that range, that's okay, something to work for. So pulling, just kept my palms down the whole time. Squeezing with those shoulder blades, feel them move in towards your spine. If you really want to make it intense, kind of hold it out there. Let's do 2 more. Squeeze, and back down, and squeeze, and back down. Nice, and so we'll straighten up, shake that out a little bit. Okay, for this next one, we're going to use all the muscles in the body. This one's called a Woodchopper. So for this exercise, I typically like to use a medicine ball, but you may not have that at home. So you're welcome to use, again, a dumbbell, bottle of water, or even just your body weight. This is still an advanced move. A lot of moving parts here, so I want to kind of break it down for a moment, and then we'll put it all together. So what we're looking for is about hip width apart, so a nice steady base. But we will be moving those feet just ever so slightly, just as if you're squishing a bug on the carpet. So also we'll be doing more of a squat. We'll get ourselves low to the ground as if we're going to get down toward a tree trunk and chop that wood down real low to the ground. What we also want to do is pretend we have an axe in our hand, right? We're a woodchopper. So we're going to hold that medicine ball, or even just your body weight. You can put your hands together in the center. We're going to reach up and twist with our torso. So it's involved our upper body by reaching and twisting, and our lower body by getting this low, and we'll finish off with that upper body by bringing it across our body, opposite side. So I'm going to put a medicine ball in my arms. Again, you choose what's right for you, and we'll stay on one side and then switch. So 10 on each side. I'm going to start by reaching up, opposite over that shoulder right here. So I'm crossing through that plane, crossing through that body, kind of up on that toe, getting ready to really bring my force down and chop that tree. So reaching up, bring that weight down, chop that tree. So my chest is still staying up here. I'm not slumped over or rounding through my spine. Spine is still strong. Chop here, so little squat, push it back up. Chop down and push it back up. Now, you can probably figure out real fast that the faster you go, the more that heart rate's gonna come up. And that's okay, that's part of the advanced moves. But if you need to keep it nice and slow, that's okay too. You might notice my feet shifting around just a little bit, but I'm still keeping that nice wide base. So kind of moving my toes like I'm squishing a bug on the carpet. Let's go 2 more on this side. Reaching up, using arms and torso, down using legs and core. There we go. All right, let's bring it back. For this next side, I want to show you what it looks like with a dumbbell. Not much different, but I do like to hold that dumbbell end to end rather than in the center. And just careful here that you don't knock yourself. All right, so we just started on this side. Now we're going to start over here on this other side, reaching up, and here we go. Down. And typically when you change sides, it feels a bit awkward as you get started, but you'll get the hang of it. Especially if you pick up that pace. I'm going to pick up that pace and kind of show you what that looks like. You keep count of what you're doing. There's a woodchopper. Down, getting that wood. You'll see my torso move a little bit with that momentum of the weights. Last one on this side. Good. Take your time through that. If you're still working, that's okay. Take a minute to bring my heart rate down. Okay. So this next one, now that our heart rate's up, you might take that minute. We are going to maybe grab a drink of water. We're going to go back down onto our mat and work not only our core, but also our triceps, the muscles in the back of our arms, a little bit of shoulder. So, here we go. I'm going to, for this exercise, I'll use a dumbbell. And I think I'm just going to use one dumbbell, but you're welcome to use one in each hand. Sometimes if I'm using one, I like to pick a heavier weight. There we go. Okay, so back down we go. So to get ourselves in position here for our triceps, we're going to push that right over our chest. The only motion we're going to do on that upper body is to bend our elbows. So it's kind of scary because we're going to bring that dumbbell down toward our head. That's called skull crusher. Oh. So here we go. Tricep. Keeping that there, we'll add in that lower body. So lower body, we have a couple of options. Advanced wise, I'd love to get that core involved, so we're going to bring both of those feet up and engage that core. So I'm pressing my body, my belly button into the mat, into the floor, and depending on where your feet are, here's a little more neutral, not as tough to keep that core engaged. So just depending on your strength is where your feet will be, or your legs will be. A little more further away from your body, engage that core a little bit more, and of course the lower they get, the harder it is to bring that core down into the mat. So we can decide just to hold this here and move that tricep, one of my favorite moves. So I'm still trying to press that belly button in, flatten that back, kind of scooped out, and we'll do our repetitions here. So next time, I'll grab a different weight, show you what that looks like. We can also advance this by moving those legs. If those legs get tired, you can always bring them back into a more neutral position or bend them down. I'm gonna keep mine out there. Let's go for 2 more. Nice. Good. Okay, and then we'll start back at the top. So, because we started our exercises on the mat, let's just stay here and we'll do that chest fly with a bridge. If you felt like your first set was somewhat easy, you're welcome to increase your weight here. You're also welcome to increase your sets. However, I'm sticking with the 10 or 12. And I'll stick with the same weight. So again, in that same position, getting ready for my bridge so my feet are nice and flat. Not super close to my body, but not far away either. Head resting neutral. I'm gonna press those dumbbells here, right above my chest, palms face in. We're gonna open up, and as we open up with our hands, we'll press up with our hips. So here we go, chest fly with a bridge. So pressing up, and then come back down. Breathing, because we're using so many muscles right here. Always like you breathing. Slight bend in that elbow. Keep that bend in there the entire time. Try not to straighten that out there so those stay bent. I think about hugging a big tree and a little tree. Big tree, little tree. Fly is definitely an advanced move. You could choose to do a press here. Let's do 2 more. Feeling those glutes and hamstrings as well. And last one, squeeze together. You're welcome to set those weights down before you get yourself up. Roll to the side if you need to, press up. Okay, here we go. Standing up for that curtsy squat and that lateral raise. I'm choosing lightweight again. Again, you don't have to do any weight if you don't want to. Okay, so again, that curtsy squat is where we bring that foot behind, kick those hips back, so we're still doing a squat, doesn't have to be deep, and we add that lateral raise. So we'll call that 1. Here's 2. Good, so you might feel one leg working harder than the other. It does seem to be a single leg squat here. This is an advanced move. If you felt like that last set was easier, try heavier weights in your hands. Don't let that form go. So if you find your form disappears, that means you're working too hard or have chosen weights that are too heavy for you at this point. It's okay to adjust throughout your set. Let's go 2 more to this side. Good. Take a moment here in between. Let those shoulders rest while you get yourself set for that other side. So bringing the other leg behind for that curtsy. Here we go. Step behind, lower yourself toward the ground. Bring those arms up and back. Don't have to worry about breathing sometimes. Heart rate naturally comes up, breathing rate comes up. Just don't want you holding your breath. Doesn't have to be a big step either, but just enough to let those hips sink down toward the floor. If you step too narrow, sometimes you trip yourself up. Let's go 2 more here. There we go. Okay. All right, I'm gonna set those down and rest as we go over that bent over fly. So that's again where we're going to have our weights in our hands, torsos at that 45-degree angle or so, back nice and flat. So we're not rounded through here, letting those knees sink in. We're gonna keep those feet apart. I'm gonna grab my dumbbells. Actually, I'm gonna grab my water bottles. Here we go. Okay, so I'll turn ever so slightly aside so you can see that. Focusing on squeezing those shoulder blades together. Really strengthening that posterior chain. That means the muscles in our back, all the way from our neck down to our heels. So I'm not doing much with my legs, but they are working because they're keeping me stationary, keeping me stable, not falling over. Pulling out the side, slight bend in that elbow there, especially at the top. Squeezing, let's do 2 more. All right, nice, and squeeze, beautiful. Okay, so here comes our Woodchopper again. Compound movement. I'm going to choose my medicine ball. Start on one side, we'll stick with one side, we'll chop, and then we'll chop the other side. So again, thinking about that tree down there, a little low stump. I want to get my body nice and low without crumbling through here the center. So keep my chest nice and open. We're going to start up here over that opposite shoulder. I'm reaching with my torso, kind of twisting a little bit, kind of using my glutes, my hamstrings to push it up, and then bring it back down, chop. So I'm kind of relying a little bit on that momentum from my weight come across. So you can kind of see more of my back as I turn. So chop, up and down. I'm moving my feet a lot. Some people kind of stay a little more stationary. Might need to make sure you're getting down nice and low without bending over. I don't want to see the top of your head. So chest up. Let's go for a few more here. Slow it down if you feel like your heart rate's getting too high. Using a lot of muscle mass here. 2 more. Great strength builder, good for endurance as well. Good, let's switch sides. So, just for fun, I'm going to show you what that looks like with body weight. Maybe some of you are already doing it that way. So, I can either hold my hands together, you can keep them apart. We still want that same technique, reaching up above and bringing ourselves back down. So I kind of think of myself as slicing through the air. So, less resistance, I haven't added anything to my body weight, but I'm still moving my body weight, and that's what's important. So there, smush. Reaching up. I know sometimes that weight gets heavy and you tend to bring it down on the shoulder. I want you to reach up toward the ceiling. Reaching up there. Ooh, stretch. And lower. Good. Let's do 2 more here. So good for you if you held on to your weight. And something to work toward if you have yet to hang on to weight. Okay, last one for our triceps and our core. So back on the mat we go. Told you early in the video I'd try it with 2 dumbbells. Again, you can use a water bottle or even a medicine ball. Put that off to the side. Okay. Might be losing my clothes. Okay, so before I had 1 dumbbell, I was holding it in both of my hands. This time my dumbbell, I'm going to turn neutral so my palm is in. And they're still right above my chest. I'm going to keep my upper arm, this part of my arm, stable while I bend at that elbow. So try not to drop that down or let her fall behind you. So keep that up. Here goes my core. I'm going to flatten my back or push my belly button in toward the mat. And I'm just going to do a hold here. So lower. So, for fun, if you want to make this a really advanced move, we can start moving those feet a little bit. Pull them away, and push them back up. Pull them away, push them back up. Now, you can't lose your form there, so if you feel like your back's coming off the mat, then we need to not move those legs. But if you have the strength, go for it. Even if it's just ever so slight. See me shaking a little bit. And sweating. Last one right here. Good job. Okay. Well, we've managed to work all the major muscle groups in the body with this advanced routine. Again, I recommend if you want to do more sets, just repeat the video, but we've completed 2 sets here today. Thank you for watching.